Hi and welcome to Rainey Dewey's Art Spot. I'm glad you found me. If you're coming back again, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. This sunset is a little bit different from the one that I did in my previous videos. I'll tag those down here about doing a sunset. In those videos, the clouds were dark. In this video, the clouds I wanted to remain light, more in keeping with the actual photograph that I was using for reference material. In that video, the clouds were illuminated and they were lighter. And so I decided that I was going to give that a try. Since I retired really with the idea that I wanted to bring my art to the next level. And so bringing it to the next level really means trying new things and pushing yourself. So instead of saying safe, I'm just jumping in. What's the worst that could happen? Wasted paper, a wasted piece of paper. And the truth is, it's not really a wasted piece of paper because each time you do a painting, you learn something from it. So this sunset, I used a 300-pound Arches cold press. It has more texture than the 140-pound. And when you're doing a glazing, which you do with these sunrise and sunset paintings, is you glaze a layer and you let it dry. So because the paper is so thick, it takes a little while for it to dry in between layers. You can use a hair dryer to expedite the drying time. I don't typically do that. I usually walk away and go clean something and then I come back and it's, you know. So even though this is a pretty thick piece of paper, I still taped it down to a rigid board because it still did buckle a little when it got wet. So I did some prep work in advance, you know, just a little bit. So I practiced using the masking fluid in my sketchbook. I did a very rough value sketch, a lame value sketch, but anyway. And I also practiced making shapes, some of the evergreens that I'm used to doing, like more like a cedar, and I think these were white pines, and so a white pine has a completely different shape than the cedars. So anyway, keep your sketchbook by your side to test colors, and before you apply things, you know, that's what I did throughout this process. So anyway. Grab your paints, grab your brushes, or just sit and take notes. So it's time to get going. Let's paint. Okay, here I'm lightly sketching where the road will converge to the horizon. I'm using a 3H. You can use a 2H to do your light sketching on the watercolor paper. I would not use a B. You'll have residual graphite if you do that. This masking fluid goes on yellowish and will dry yellowish. It has a rubbery texture, so you can either remove it like I did with an eraser after you're finished doing your washes. Okay, so you see it dried a little darker, and here I am laying in my initial wash. I did test out some colors on my sketchbook there, and I'm still not 100% sure I was happy with them at that point, because once they dried, the washes were a little bit lighter. Watercolor has a tendency to dry a little bit lighter than your initial wash, so I decided to punch it in with a little extra value. And here I'm applying another layer of water so I can go in and apply a little bit more color. I wanted to remind you, as you go through your painting process and you're doing these kinds of landscapes and trying to do beautiful sunsets, that we're not trying to duplicate nature. A camera can duplicate nature, but we're trying to paint our interpretation of it. You know, obviously I'm a representational artist. I like to paint things as they are, and I can only do my best in trying to interpret what I see. So try to be forgiving of yourself especially as we learn, you know, I'm learning myself. I've been painting for a while, but I have so very much to learn. And that's the one thing that I'm really excited about doing with my retirement. And so I hope you can join along with me and we'll learn together. Here I am removing the masking fluid. I used the rubber eraser part of the time, making sure that it was clean before I started, and then I used my finger. That can be a mistake sometimes because the oils from your finger can get on the surface of the paper and maybe your fingers aren't very clean. So sometimes it's risky to rub it off with your finger, even though I did it. You might not want to do that. Here I'm going over it with another wash, and I'm trying to put a little tint on those white areas. I felt like the edges of the masked out areas were a little bit harsh, so I even tried to go in and soften them with a scrubber, but the scrubber was defacing the paper, so I abandoned that and just decided to go in and build with color. And you can see that dark spot where I started to lay in the distant, you know, mountains and hedgerow, and it's a color that I didn't think was very interesting, so I abandoned it and came back to it later. Here I am using the scrubber, trying to soften. Didn't work. So no, we're not going to keep doing that. I started to really rough up the paper, so I didn't want to continue. And I just kept building and building, and layers upon layers, and then you keep working it until you're satisfied. It's a delicate balance, knowing when to stop. There we are from start to finish, the masking fluid, some of the initial washes, and then this next is the bold foreground. That was risky for me, and it was worth it. I would suggest doing it. Almost there, and finally it's done. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it.